Good afternoon and happy Diwali to all. In this video, I'm gonna show my automation of different technology stack using Python. So this is the main menu and each task has a various subtasks inside it. So let's go and dig deep into it and look at its code and it's working. So I'm pressing 1. So you can see inside the general task, the various subtasks, date, calendar, Firefox, open gedit, add a new user, delete a new user, check the IP ping, view all partition, install in software, and remove a software. So I'm pressing 1 to review the weight, press 2 to view the calendar, press 3 the Firefox, it will, yeah, the Firefox, press 4, gedit will open. Yeah, you can see that untitled document has been opened. Okay. Press 5 to add a new user. Let's say SAR OS. In order to delete the user created, just type name of the user. Okay, it's demo underscore. Similarly, you can check the IP. So 7. Okay, this is the IP. I'm pinging the Google server. Okay, so I'm gonna press 9. So the partitions inside. You can press 10 to install software using yum. Press 11 to uninstall and press 12 to move out. And now I'm gonna play with Docker. I'm press 2. So inside the Docker I can view all the images. So I will press to all images coming up. View all running container. You can see that none of my containers existing image. So it will save some time. Since the image is present locally, it will not see that the image is also up to date. I will press 4 to launch a container. So you are inside a Docker container. I will move out of the Docker container. So again, when we will press 2, there will be no running container. Press 5 to delete the container, and I will press 6 to move out. Press 3 to configure website. Yeah, it will launch a container. So by the time it's launching, let's look at the code. This is the code. I've used beautifully the concept of loops and various Python libraries. So this is the main menu. So inside main menu there is sub menu. For example, in order to perform a general task, user will take input. The input format will be string. So I have to typecast it into int. So regarding each input there is a corresponding command. Similarly, this is the command for the Docker. If you have to view all the Docker images, use Docker images. Use Docker PS to view all running container. If you want to look at all the Docker PS minus, in order to pull an image, use Docker pull. In order to run in container, Docker run. IT stand for interactive mode, the name of the container, and the image that you want to use. In order to delete a container, this is the command docker rm delete the stop the container. In case it's the container running, it will not delete. So you have to add a flag -f. So this is the command for configuring a web server. You can see that I'm first creating a container, then starting it, then executing various command. So first it will launch an Apache to web server. It will download the wget package, nettools package, and the web server code is present in my S3 bucket. So this is the name of the S3 code that is present is inside the home.html. So after that I'm going to start the Apache server and look at the IP. Okay, I'm inside the Asia region. I'm inside the Kolkata. Okay, you can see that it's installing the wget package. Then after that nettools package. Now it's okay. You can see that this is the IP of my container. Yeah, Apache runs on port 80 nom.html. Yeah, you can see that I'm inside my Docker container and my file has been hosted on the web server. My container has been running. It's still not stopped. So I will. You can view that. Yeah, you can see that my container is running. Yeah, you can see that the container has been deleted, and if again I want to fetch my website, it will throw an error because my web server has been unable to connect. Okay, so by now everything is going fine. So I will press X to move out. Now I will launch an Python interpreter ID Docker container. Mm, for that I will explain you this code. Okay, yeah, this is the code in order to launch the Python interpreter. Similarly, I will create a container, start a container. By default, Python 3 is not installed inside the container, so you can see that you are inside a Python interpreter. Now I'm going to play with AWS. So the prerequisite is that you have to create an IAM role. In case I am using AWS Educate account, so press 1 to create a key. Yeah, my key pair has been created. Now I will create a security group. So let's go. You can see that I will let you see from. You can see that Sarthak demos key has been created using command line. Now, similarly here you can see that my security group has been created. Yeah, you can see that my security group is in. Now I'm gonna launch my instance. So I have to look for the AMIs for the AMI because for each OS there is a unique AMI. Oh, I want t2.micro. Number of instances I have to launch one. I have to enter the security group ID, the key. Okay, so let's check. Yeah, my instance has been launched, so I will check it from here. Yeah, we can see that it's launching, and it's launching inside the US East 1A. I have to launch the EBS volume within the same region. Okay, I will press 4. It's launched in the container has been OS has been launched in US East 1A, so I will create a EBS volume in the same region. EBS volume has been created. Now I will press 5. No, yeah. Okay, I have to enter the instance ID. Where is instance ID? Yeah, this is the instance ID. EBS volume has been attached. So let's check in the storage section. It will take some time. By the way, let's check whether the volume has been created. Yes, it's created. Yeah, it's created on 15 November and it's in use. So let's check to whom it's been attacked. You can see the time 3:53. Yeah, so till now everything is running fine. Now look at the other functionality that we can do. Let's create an S3 bucket. Okay, 6. Let's enter the since bucket is created globally, so I have to write an let's bucket has been created. So let's check whether the bucket has been created successfully. Yeah, you can see that this is the bucket that has been created successfully. You can copy the files to the S3 bucket. You can create a CloudFront distribution. You can press 9 to stop an EC2 instance, press 10 to terminate the EC2 instance, and press 11 to delete the S3 bucket. So I'm gonna delete whatever I have created one by one. I will press 11 to delete the S3 bucket. So this is the name of my S3 bucket. I will paste. You can see that the bucket has been. Yeah, you can see that the bucket has been deleted. Now let's check whether the instance has been deleted or not. Yeah, you can see that number of running instance has been set to 0, and you can see that the instance has been shutting down. Okay, so far so good. Now let's see the Hadoop concept that can be automated using this. Okay, so first look at the code. In order to create a key pair, this is the command AWS EC2 create key pair, name of the key and the region. Similarly, you have to create an security group name. So AWS EC2 create security group. In order to launch an EC2 instance, AWS EC2 run instance, you have to mention the image ID, image type, number of instances that you want to launch, security group IDs, key name, and the region. In order to create a volume, this command is AWS EC2 create volume, ability, zone, size, and the region. Similarly, you have to attach AWS EC2 attach volume, the volume ID that you want to attach, and the instance ID and the region. Similarly, you have to create and again use the command AWS S3 API create bucket. In order to copy the files, you use the command AWS S3 copy. So in order to create a CloudFront distribution, you use AWS CloudFront create distribution, the bucket of the name of the bucket, and the region. Similarly, to stop instances, you will AWS EC2 stop instances, terminate instances, and in order to delete the bucket, you use AWS S3 API. Let's perform Hadoop. There is a name node and the data node, and the client that will access the cluster in order to read the data from the cluster or upload the data or delete the data. Data node is the storage which provides to the cluster in where all the files and the data are being saved. Name node keeps the track of all the files and gives the access to the user whether he can access the files or not. Okay, so let's look at the code. So for this I've created another file in which I've defined all my AWS code, imported it here. You can see that from Hadoop set import set all the function has been imported. Okay, I have made the program such a smart that it will already check whether JDK has been installed or not. If it is installed, it will not install it again, and again it will check whether the Hadoop is installed or not. If it is not installed, it will install it. Since in my OS Hadoop has been already installed, so when I will run this command, neither this JDK nor this Hadoop will run. So those who are already familiar with Hadoop concept, name node, data node, they will not find it difficult to understand. But those who are new to it can refer to the online tutorials. Name node as well as data node, there are two main files known as core site.xml and SDFS site.xml. So you can see that I'm defining and I'm first configuring the name node. So you can see in press 1 to configure name node. The first, when the user press 1, yeah, that's this, the name node will be configured. So it will ask for the user the IP of the name node, the port number, and the directory that we will store all the information regarding. It's like a metadata of all the files. So this is the configuration of the SDFS site.xml of name node. Similarly, this is the data of the SDFS core site.xml of the protocol that we will use is SDFS IP and the name port. Similarly, this is the configuration of the data node. First, we will check in the data node whether the JDK is installed, check whether the Hadoop is installed or not. Yeah. So here I will implement the logical volume concept. So in order to share a specific storage to the cluster, this will limit, LVM will limit the space or the storage shared to the cluster. So those who are comfortable with Elvin concept will find these command very simpler. PV create will create the physical volume, VG create will create the volume group, and finally the LV create will create a logical volume. And as you can see that I'm specifying the amount of storage that I want to share. mkfs.txt4 will format the folder, and again this is the configuration of sdfs and coursesite.xml. And yeah, 3 is the command for client services. So if you are a client, you will run this command. This will check first check whether the JDK is installed, again check whether the Hadoop is installed, and it will only configure the course.xml. Yes, so I will press 7 to move back and look at implement the LVM concept. So let's look at the LVM code. So you can see that you have to first enter the hard disk name, enter the size that you want to share, and this is the similar command that you used earlier. In order to extend the logical volume, or you want to share a more storage to the cluster, you will use the command lv extend and mention the size that you want to add. Similarly, to reduce the size that you are sharing, you can use the lv reduce command. In order to delete the logical volume, you used lv remove. In order to delete the volume group, you will use vg group command and the vg name. In order to delete the physical volume, you use pv remove. So thank you and enjoy the day and happy Diwali.